What's going on? We have some more severe weather to talk about today. We have an enhanced risk, or 3 out of 5 risk, for severe thunderstorms through portions of Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas. We have a large slight risk for severe storms that stretches up through the upper Midwest, and then a very widespread marginal risk stretching from portions of the Rockies all the way out through the upper Midwest Great Lakes region. We also have a little bit of a marginal risk down there in Virginia and North Carolina. I also want to get into the excessive rainfall risk we're going to see over the next few days. Also, don't forget we have a super typhoon in the Pacific currently, Typhoon Bobby, and this is headed for Taiwan or China. I'll give you the latest updates on Bobby, and we'll also take a wider look at the tropics. It's July 8th, 2026. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Let's get into the weather updates. As I said, large marginal and slight risk today, and a smaller enhanced risk through portions of eastern Colorado, northwestern Kansas, and southwestern Nebraska. Now, for our tornado threat today, we're looking at portions of southeastern Minnesota, central to northeastern Iowa, and then portions of central to southern Wisconsin. Only a 2% risk, and it's not SIG'd. So even if we do see tornadoes, they're not expected to be stronger than EF0 or EF1. But again, this could always be upgraded as we move throughout the day and new data is collected. So make sure if you're in or around this risk zone, you keep your alerts on today. We do have a decent wind threat out here through portions of the plains, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming. You can see we have a 5, 15, and 30% SIG-1 threat for winds. So we could see some strong to severe thunderstorms today capable of producing 80+ mile per hour winds. Again, keep your alerts on in this area. Taking a look at our hail risk today, simple 5%. That main threat down in Virginia and North Carolina today, by the way, is just a 5% wind threat, so nothing too crazy. Getting into our day 2 risk zone, so this is tomorrow, this is Thursday. We have widespread marginal risks and split slight risks here. One slight risk through portions of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. The other one stretching from South Dakota and Wyoming all the way down through the panhandle of Texas, and then pushing out east through portions of Kansas. The main threat tomorrow, we're looking at a 15% wind threat, again out there through portions of the central and southern plains, and then through portions of the Ohio Valley here, Missouri out through southern Indiana, and then pushing out towards central Kentucky. Hail risk, nothing crazy. Again, 5 to 15% risk for portions of the plains and then out through Missouri. Once we get into Friday, more severe weather could be upgraded to a slight, we'll have to see, but marginal risk stretching from portions of Colorado all the way out through portions of eastern Tennessee and northwestern Georgia. Let's take a quick look at the parameters for today's severe weather. So first of all, let's take a look at the 500 millibar jet. This is what's going to help organize our storms. And you can see we actually have some short waves developing here across portions of Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin as well up here. Earlier in the morning, you could see a little bit of action down here through portions of Colorado, northwestern Kansas, southwestern Nebraska, southeastern Wyoming as well. We move over to our 850 jet, and where does that jet begin to really kick on? We get that jet enhancing out here again through portions of Iowa, out through Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota. That's why we have that tornado threat out there, but it also is looking pretty impressive down in this region here. I'm especially watching portions of northwestern Kansas. Instability isn't crazy, but there's enough, especially up here through portions of Iowa and then out here again through north central, northwestern Kansas. Taking a look at our reflectivity, we already have some storms moving through portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now you can see this kind of begins to develop into a QLCS or quasi-linear convective system, squall line, whatever you want to call it. As we get into around 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, this is when we're going to be watching the threat for some spin-ups out here. Definitely looks like an evening threat. And then pushing over towards the central plains, these storms really start to get going, the severe storms at least, potentially 7 to 8 p.m. and on. We could get some stronger storms before that. Definitely, we could get some stronger storms later in the afternoon. But right now, with the latest HRRR, at least with the timing, it does look like the most severe storms are going to be, again, 7 p.m. and on central time out in that region. Quickly just taking a look at the timing tomorrow for our severe weather. We do get some strong storms kicking on out here through portions of Illinois and Missouri as we get into around 4 p.m. Then back out here over the central plains. So late afternoon, some potentially strong thunderstorms stretching from the mid-Atlantic through the southeast Ohio Valley as well as we push through the afternoon tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of a severe threat in the mid-Atlantic tomorrow as we get into around 5 or 6 p.m. And then that severe threat for portions of the Ohio Valley, really Missouri out east through Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky, looks to be again middle to late evening. Same with the central plains out here. We're looking at mainly an evening event for our severe weather. We do have 4 straight days of slight excessive rainfall risks. You can see today, central plains up through portions of the upper Midwest. That's where our slight is. Tomorrow, that slight transfers down into portions of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and these areas that really don't need that rainfall, that have just seen excessive rainfall continuously. We're talking about southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and then portions of central to western Kentucky, unfortunately. Getting into day 3 Friday, same areas, unfortunately, but that slight risk for excessive rainfall does stretch out now through portions of West Virginia and Ohio and Tennessee. Saturday, again, we're looking at southern Illinois, southern Indiana, Kentucky. This region out here, the Ohio Valley, is just seeing a lot of rainfall. So I'm a little bit concerned about some flooding concerns as we push throughout the week. Let's just take a look at the national blend and push out about a week. You can really see where most of this rainfall wants to be. Portions of Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, West Virginia, western Virginia. These are the areas we're concerned about. Not bad precipitation up here through portions of eastern Nebraska. Omaha could see some good precipitation. Then portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then Florida's looking pretty good too, in southern Louisiana. Also out here towards the coast, North Carolina, South Carolina. They actually could use the rainfall. We're dry out west, of course, though. Temperature outlook. This is our 6 to 10 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. So for the dates July 13th through July 17th, we're very, very warm out there through portions of the central to northern Rockies, northern plains, central plains, even pushing out through portions of the upper Midwest. A little bit of a cool down coming out here towards New England. Now, this is what I've been pointing out over the last, I want to say almost week. We've been seeing a pattern that looks like we could get a cool down out east. It looks like this trough is going to dig a little bit too far out east, and that's what the Euro has been seeing. The Euro has continuously put this trough a little bit further east, meaning we don't get the bulk of that cold air in the Ohio Valley, but instead it's a little bit further out east towards the mid-Atlantic and New England, unfortunately, pushing out towards July 15th through July 21st, starting to get back towards average temperatures across the Ohio Valley, and then we're getting a little bit below average, potentially up there through New England. Again, if we can get this trough to dig a little bit further to the west, we could see those average to even slightly below averages across the Ohio Valley as we get into the third week of July. But right now that pattern has been trending east, and I'm hoping the trend stops, or at least it trends a little bit back west. Precipitation wise, the big thing that stands out to me here as we get into the July 13th through July 17th timeframe is that precipitation forecast for the Southwest. A lot of rainfall headed for southeastern California and portions of Arizona, southwestern New Mexico as well. Getting out towards the third week of July, July 15th through July 21st, still a lot of rainfall out there in the Southwest. Look at the upper Midwest. We're dry for a good portion of July potentially, so that's pretty interesting. So what's going on in the tropics close to home? Well, out here in the eastern Pacific, here's Pacific Disturbance 2. It has a 0% chance of developing into a tropical cyclone over the next 48 hours, but a 40%, almost 50-50, chance of developing into a tropical cyclone within the next 7 days. We have another tropical disturbance. This is Pacific Disturbance number 1 out here in the central Pacific, and it may be hard to see, but there's Hawaii right there. This does look like it's going to stay to the south of Hawaii, which is good. And you can see the actual spin right here. There's our low pressure, and it's going to be entering a more favorable environment as it pushes off to the west. And I think as it clears the shear that's kind of right to the north of it, this is going to be some warm water, low shear. Probably going to get something developing here. I hope it steers away from Asia. We already have Super Typhoon Bavi out there. We don't need another one. Speaking of Super Typhoon Bavi, here we go. Let's take a look at the latest. Current wind speeds, 155 miles per hour sustained. So 1 mile per hour away from being a Category 5 typhoon. It may be upgraded to a Category 5 typhoon, may keep that Category 4 status. It looks pretty healthy right now. There may be a little bit of dry air getting mixed in, but still a very clean circulation. I will say though, the eye is gigantic, and a larger eye can actually signal a potential weakening pattern. Usually when you have a very, very tight, small eye, those are your strongest typhoons, your strongest hurricanes. So a little bit of wobble in the eye. It's extremely large. That signals to be that maybe we don't hit that Category 5 status again. Maybe we do see a little bit of a downtrend here with the strength of Typhoon or Super Typhoon Bavi. It is still expected to head directly towards Taiwan and China. Unfortunately, you can see the latest spaghetti models, and we're talking about potentially a landfall just 3 days from now, July 11th. And a lot of these models keep this storm as potentially a major typhoon, Category 3 or stronger, as Bavi makes its approach again towards Taiwan and China. So we have to watch this very, very carefully. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime I post a new video or go live. I also run an awesome weather Discord, Connor's Climate Corner. You can join by clicking the link right down in the description below. It's completely free, and I put all of the latest updated weather information that I talk about in these videos and in my live streams in that Discord every single day. Also, if you want to support the channel further, you can check out some of the merch on connorsclimatecorner.com. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video or in the next live stream. See ya.